Merry meet. So, it is day 14 of the 31 Days of Witchcraft Challenge, and today we are talking about fantasy creatures. So, do you believe in fantasy creatures such as dragons, fairies, unicorns, etc.? So, kind of. I 100% believe fairies exist, but not necessarily probably in the way that you kind of think of. So, I kind of think that the planet and the world has kind of like a double realm thing, you know, like just beyond the veil, where the worlds can kind of overlap, but they kind of like reach across and like fuck with you, like just a little bit. Like the Fae, straight up, if you leave some headphones just on a table, stretched out just fine, they're not gonna get tangled, right? And then you come back and it's just like this ball of knots. It's the fairies. You lose your keys and you're like, I swear to God, I set them right here. And they're not here, and I need my keys. The fairies, they did that. They always do that. And so, like, we have, for years now, been, like, just, you know, trying to appease the Fae and little things, and when we do, things get better in our lives. And when we don't, they make sure of that. But I don't picture them as, like, Tinkerbell, nor do I picture them as, like, the little 2 to 3 foot person, because in my brain I just feel like that probably was derived from the fact that people sometimes have that genetic problem. I think it's a genetic disorder. I can't remember if it's what the official terms are for it. Just some genetic problem occurred and they did not grow like a normal human. I'm pretty sure that's where the idea of a fairy being 2.5 foot tall came from. And it feels weird to be like, oh, it's the little people, because I'm like, that probably is super offensive. We shouldn't be saying that. Granted, I do not know anyone of that. Well, actually, I kind of knew a dude, but I don't know if he actually qualified as that. I don't know what the official term really is supposed to be, because I've heard sometimes that, like, saying like they're a dwarf is kind of offensive. So I don't know. People who have height problems. Like, I think I knew one dude in like middle school, maybe elementary school. It was a long time ago now. But like, I don't even know if he would qualify. He was just a lot shorter than the rest of us. But again, it's like, it just feels like it's kind of offensive to say that to people. And I don't really view the Fae like that. To me, they can be whatever size they want. Much like the deities, they're on that side of the realm. I mean, in my brain, like, all of the fairy queens and fairy goddesses are kind of more along those lines. Like, have you seen the Morrigan and the goddess Rhiannon? Like, they both have been termed as, like, fairy goddesses, and y'all, they can fuck with you. So, there's fairies. I also believe in dragons, because really, like, dinosaurs existed. How is it so far off for a dragon to exist? However, I don't necessarily believe that they're, like, 3D, like my little thingy here, like I could just touch them. Same with the Fae. I think they're much more beyond the veil, kind of like a paranormal thing, where they kind of coexist in our world, but kind of not. You know, like the saying of, like, oh, the ghost is walking through a wall, but when they were alive, there was not a wall there, it was a hallway. That's why they're walking through there. Like, kind of that logic, where they're just sort of like coexisting in the same-ish world, kind of. It's kind of how I view the dragon. So it's more like an energy that you're like connecting with. I guess maybe it's on like the astral realm. I really haven't looked into a lot of like what exactly qualifies as astral and stuff like that, so I'm hesitant to use those words. But maybe that's kind of more of a proper term for it. I just haven't really spent the time to research it that much ever in my practice. So it's just the other side. It's the other side of the veil, whatever the veil is to y'all. So I feel like the veil is very complex. And, you know, I mean, even in our side of it, we don't understand and see everything that exists here anyways. So, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I don't really believe in, like, unicorns, but, like, is it really so far off? Because there are some weird creatures that are on this planet naturally that we're just like, what? So, anyways, it's not so far-fetched. But, do I believe that unicorns are meandering around with wings and glory and all of that? Well, I don't think I would be a unicorn at that point. I think that's Pegasus. But whatever. It's fine. I don't know. I don't really believe in those ones too much, but that's kind of ironic because I'm like, dragons are fine, fairies are fine, but a unicorn. But that's just me. So anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys down below, and until tomorrow, thank you for watching, and blessed be.